Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. Closing shift, boys, so you already know what's up. Go ahead and about to talk about some stuff. You know, funnily enough, if you haven't seen my community post, recent video that I uploaded apparently got some guideline strikes because they felt that it was dehumanizing to say that, you know, the opposite sex of what I am can be unattractive. That is a possibility. You know, it wasn't concerning the fact that, you know, in the same sentence, I said that men were ending themselves. It was only concerning that XXs had the possibility of being unattractive. You know, so. Good old screw tube, but, you know, patriarchy, I guess, whatever. Anyway, what I kind of want to talk about is something in relation to, I guess, motivation, but guys, and I cannot stand that it's the 4th of July because these people are going to pop fireworks while I'm just trying to sleep after doing a closing shift, but whatever. So I hope this, if it's too irritating, I'm just going to probably, like, cancel the video or whatever. So if you see it, then obviously it didn't get canceled, but whatever. Yeah. You know, I've been hearing some people talk about, like, life for them and what they feel is meaningful and stuff like that. And I know I kind of mentioned this before, but I kind of want to talk about some stuff because things are going in a solid direction for me. And the topic today, just not necessarily at work, but, you know, occasionally was being brought up because some people at our job are, like, already, like, air quotes, you know, married and stuff like that, even though they're young and all this crap. But, you know, I just basically said, look, man, I was telling my coworkers this, because listen, guys, let me explain something. I don't necessarily, like, go into depth about, like, you know, my thoughts on things, you know, in the workplace. Like, I basically mentioned to, like, one coworker, a younger guy, you know, a bit more in depth about my, like, thoughts and stuff, but that's after, like, you know, we're out of the workplace, we're not around all the chicks and stuff like that, because all it takes is one person getting offended, HR, and, you know, you can get fired. And so, you never know. I'm not taking the chance, right? But, you know, the topic came up about, like, you know, marriage and relationships. And I'm like, you know, don't chase something. This is what I told them, you know. Don't chase something because, like, you're on the outside looking in. That's not me saying that every relationship is dysfunctional. Obviously, that's not true. But most people would rather just get together and hold on to each other, even if it's, like, toxic and unhappy, than be alone. Well, not a lot of people are comfortable enough to be able to look themselves in the mirror, you know, and go to bed by themselves. Not very people are comfortable like that. And it's funny because, like, I was listening to this one guy. It's another younger coworker. He mentioned that he's, like, literally, I kid you not, he's getting ready to move to Washington, D.C. for a girl. A girl. Guys, Florida is expensive. Okay, Florida's expensive. Oh my God, these freaking fireworks. Florida's expensive, but it's got nothing on Washington. Washington is really, really bad right now. Washington is really bad. Homeless are everywhere because of how expensive it is. And this guy is literally about to go all the way to a place where he's not going to have any support circle for a woman who is, again, she has the ability to leave him. You know, listen, guys, I know, again, in this space, these freaking cunts. I know, again, in this space, it's not popular to say this because not many fellas want to hear this, but, like, guys, pussy is not everything. I know, like, some of you are already typing and getting mad and stuff like that, and I've seen my fair share of videos about that stuff, but it almost seems like some of the people in this space kind of, like, they want to, like, be reinforced negatively. It's like they're a masochist for negative stuff. And my thing is this, guys, and I've shared this in the last video, but obviously that's gotten taken down, so I don't even know how many people saw it, you know. Guys, a little bit about myself. 5'6", so apparently, you know, I've already got the height pill, and I'm, you know, completely unattractive, and, you know, I'm a Blizzak, so, you know, again, that's another, you know, unappealing thing, in my opinion, air quotes, right? I am not buff. I'm toned, but I'm not buff. Stuff like that. No, I don't have like a perfect chiseled jawline and stuff like that. And perhaps this is TMI. But literally what I did Monday, okay, literally Monday this week, when I was off, was I met up with a freaking chick online. I didn't even pay her. I didn't even pay her. I asked her if she wanted something from the restaurant that we met up at. She didn't want to. She wanted to go straight to the hotel. And I dug her out. It's nowhere near as impossible for... Freaking cunts, dude. It's nowhere near as impossible as you think to, like, get sex. Now, if you're talking about meaningful relationships, you gotta understand, that's kind of where I do agree. Because everyone these days is just kind of roll. Listen, I don't really have the heart or mind to buy into a meaningful relationship. Because at the end of the day, it's not an equal trade. And for me, I'm a hyper analyst, if you will. I'm always analyzing things. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, I can give this person like 120%. And I'm always supposed to give my 120%. But this person can be given 50% and they're still expecting me to give my 100. And that's how it is a lot of times these days. Because listen, you got to understand, we are in... Who is shooting fireworks at a freaking plaza, dude? Like, you just got to think about that, but whatever. You got to think about the fact that you're doing all of this, you're giving all of your effort, and someone is still expected to receive 100% of your effort, if not beyond 100% of your effort, despite only giving 50% if you're lucky. Does that really sound fair to you? Does it sound fair that they want... Here it comes. Oh, that one wasn't really that loud. Does it really sound very fair that they want you to give them money, they want you to buy them stuff, take them to dinners, take them to dates, take them to all this stuff, and I'm not asking for sex every single time, but no drama. I'm not even allowed to ask for no drama. I'm not allowed to ask for like, zero arguments and stuff like that. Even if I were to just ask, because listen, I don't really give a rat's arse about like cooking and stuff like that, because I could cook my own goddamn food. Let me just make that very clear. Apparently, like, just asking for like peace is too much for most people. These freaking cunts, dude. These freaking fireworks. But it's too much to most people. You are a misogynist if you ask for things like that. Listen, for me, I don't sit around here and talk about it, because listen, yes, I had it. And yes, again, I want to make this very clear, I'm not the most attractive, and heck, the person who I'm living with, the female roommate, like one of them, I'm not saying that I could get her, but I'm pretty positive I could if I wanted to. Am I going to make a move on her? No. Not really. If she made a move on me and we could become like friends with benefits, I might be fine with that, but I don't really want to stir the pot, of like essentially the landlady. Not that like I really think that she'd give a rat's arse, to be honest. Like I'm just saying that from the standpoint of like, you don't want to like eat where you're crap, essentially. That's kind of the aspect that I have. Far too many guys like elevate these things to positions where I really don't feel like they deserve. Listen, people like to say, I remember this interview with Kevin Durant, and they asked this guy why he was single. I think it was like I Show Speed and some other guy that married a freaking OnlyFans or some kind of porn star or something. He's like, you're robbing yourself of the most powerful thing on earth, love. You married a freaking whore, and you're talking about love? You really think that chick has any concept of love? Same guy that's like, I don't know if he's married to Bonnie Blue or whatever, but he's like, hey, listen, you guys may be in her snatch, but she's in my bed. I'm like, is this guy serious? But yeah, like, I don't know, like he must be taking some hell of a drug to like be convincing himself that like that chick is his. When she's like, yeah, I would love to get gangbangs all the time. This is just the kind of age that we're in. Now, you might say that I'm like jaded as a result, and so like it's not fair and blah blah blah, but I don't really care, guys. I've had sex and I can continue to have sex. I mean, listen, I got enough money right now. If I wanted to go see a hooker, I could see a hooker right now, But listen, guys, it's not Number one, it's really not all it's cracked up to be, and you gotta understand, like, a lot of y'all that are talking about roping for this stuff, listen, dude, this is why I kind of encourage you to just experience it so that you can understand, like, it's really not that serious. You're talking about, like, the connections and stuff like that, but listen, someone can tell you they love you and still be talking to other dudes. Would you like me to share with you a secret? The chick that I met up with, okay, after we got through doing what we were gonna do, she stayed with me in the hotel all night. Okay, she was cuddling me and rubbing on me. And, we did it more, obviously, but she was trying to, listen, she texted me, like, early, because she's still trying to make a relationship. Like, you want to know what I saw? And listen, I want to make this very clear, and I hope to God that she wasn't already in one, but, like, you have to, you can't really, you never know, right? She was talking to some dude. Now, listen, let me make this very clear. I met up with this chick. I didn't say anything about no goddamn relationship. But when I looked to my left, because she was on my left, she was talking to a dude. Meanwhile, she's still talking to me like she wants me to be in a relationship. Because yes, listen, this is in real time. I'm not talking out my ear. I don't really ask if you believe me or not. I know that this happened because I was freaking there. She was talking to a dude. Now, she wasn't talking, like, verbally, but she was texting him. This female dual mating strategy crap, that's real. You might think it's not real, but listen, they've got rosters of dudes. Don't think that just because she's over here saying, baby, I love you and stuff, and listen, yeah, she's already texted me, like, my love and stuff. I have not said my love not one time. Because I don't throw around the word love lightly. Personally, I have yet to experience love. Have I said I love you to my girlfriends? Yes. Because I felt that was what you were supposed to do. But did I really mean it? I don't really think so. And why? Because I think even in my subconscious, when I was in those relationships, when I was expected to be a provider, I just felt like this is not equal. This is not fair. I don't like that I am the one who is basically carrying most of the burden. And in exchange, I'm supposed to get, like, I don't know, like a bit of physical affection, but why do they want so much from me? Why am I expected to do all of this? You see? So yeah, I would say it. And I had hoped to mean it, but my mind being the kind of mind that I have, I just couldn't. I knew that I didn't really mean that, I knew that I didn't really mean that. And that's why I'm not really in those. That's why I don't really chase them anymore. Would it be nice to have someone? I don't deny that everyone has an ideal way of seeing things. And in the ideal way of seeing things, of course, it would be nice to have someone in the ideal way. It would be nice to know that you could work in the ideal world where, like, you earned enough money and you had equal work and life balance. But hey, we don't live in an ideal world. We live in the world, And it just is what it is. Relationships being what they are, especially in today's day and age, are just insanely... What is even the word? It's just a frivolous endeavor. And I'm not trying to say that from, like, an uppity standpoint, like, oh, look at my vocabulary. I'm just saying you have to just search through a freaking piranha-infested swimming pool and hope that you can find a clam with a pearl in it. That's what you're trying to get. And people are trying to tell you that you need to do it, even if they settled and they're miserable. Because listen, I'm all for, like, people not settling. I'm all for it. I know a lot of guys might hear that and get mad, but listen, don't ruin somebody else's freaking life because you don't want to be alone. And so now you start, like, freaking comparing them to, like, the person that you wanted all the time, stuff like that. Don't do that, because that person might genuinely love you and you're just treating them like crap. So I'm all for not settling. No one should have to be putting up with stuff like that. But nor should someone have to sit around here and be told continuously that they need to like fit into stereotypes and stuff like that. They need love, air quotes, or some kind of relationship just because it is just the thing to do. Now, a lot of people will try and say, well, listen, dude, you're young and you're going to change your mind. But listen, I don't think you comprehend. I have not been changing my mind on anything that I've said since I was... What? I've been saying this for a minute, boys. I don't think you guys understand. You know, one of the best things that my mother did was she told me to focus on school. Now, yeah, school is garbage. But the reason that she did that is because she didn't want me, chasing chicks in the standpoint of getting chicks pregnant. In the community that I hail from, it is very common to just get a chick pregnant way before you're even out of high school. Like, sometimes even if you're not in high school, like in middle school. And she didn't want that for me. And my mom, you know, God bless her, she has openly said, like, hey, listen, like, when I went to see her literally yesterday, I kid you not, you know, something was said essentially by, like, one of the chicks that is staying there and whatnot, that, like, oh, I must have left because I'm trying to, like, get a girlfriend or something like that. And she made it very clear that, no, he has said it abundantly, you know, several times that he doesn't want it. And they're not believing her. And I was like, listen, at the end of the day, all of this crap that we're talking about, I love, because my mom knows my stance. You know, I'm not lying to her about that stuff. You know, she knows my stance. I made it abundantly clear that, like, yeah, listen, all that crap about I love you and stuff like that, that don't mean nothing. She's like, because, you know, and what's funny is, I did not tell her this, gents. She said this herself, like, if they really talking about they love you that much, lose your job. Watch how you get treated. Yeah. You'll be replaced real quick. That's the truth, guys. You can't sit around here and think otherwise. But in short, I'll just say this, guys. I'll just say this. Don't romanticize stuff that you haven't experienced. And there's a big truck, so I'm going to have to close this video. Don't romanticize stuff that you haven't experienced. If you really feel like you need to get that stuff, you need to try and put yourselves into positions to get it. You know? Because, listen, guys, snatch is nowhere near as impossible as you think. Don't live chronically online in, like, echo chambers and think that that's, like, what everything really is. It's really not, you know? I'm not going to say that it's not at all. I'm not going to say that you shouldn't follow the advice. You obviously should, but don't see it as a 100%, like, to the T, this is, like, just how everything is, okay? Because, like I said, if I can do it, and I am, again, you know, 5'6", and I'm not tall and buff and jacked, and I'm a nibba and stuff like that, and I can land somebody and be digging them out in a hotel room, and, again, I did not pay for this. Listen, if I paid for it, I'll let you know, because I've said this many times, I pay for hookers, you know. But I can also land checks without paying, you know, stuff. Like I said, I offered to pay for her for a meal, and she didn't even want a meal. She just wanted to go right to the hotel. And you hop to it. They're easy. No, I don't know what the heck you guys want me to tell you, you know. But if I can do it, I know that you guys can too. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here because that truck is going to start making a whole lot of noise, boys. So I'm going to kind of rush it. Thank you guys for listening. God bless. I will see you guys next time.